Hello, welcome back. I recently asked you guys on Instagram if you wanted a video about how to travel light, which means to be able to travel and not pack so much, because we have done this recently for Peru. If you don't follow me on Instagram, you might be a bit lost about this, but my family and I have recently traveled to Peru, and we were there for 9 days, and we traveled really quite light, especially with two kids. And there were lots of people messaging saying, yes, please, I have no idea how to do that, which surprised me because I don't think we did something so extraordinary. But at the same time, I think I get it. I think a lot of it is about what we see nowadays. So before I talk about how to travel light and to not pack too much, I just want to comment on that. I don't know about you guys, but I have seen so many photos, especially, and videos too, but photos of people at the airport just about to travel, to get on the plane. So people take this photo, family photo. Sometimes it's just one person as well. But anyway, they take a photo with themselves and all of these suitcases around them. So it's usually, if it's a family of four, like mine, traveling together, I have seen this more than once. Like a huge suitcase for each person. And it always catches my attention because it's the opposite to what we do. Now, I'm not going to take credit for this at all, because when I met my husband when I was 23 years old, I was not the way I am today in terms of traveling. So I used to pack like a crazy person. Anything, and this is where I think one of the kind of secrets to traveling light is, anything I thought I could potentially need, I would pack. What if I go to a nice restaurant and I need some heels? Then I'll pack that too. So I used to be this crazy person when it came to packing when I met him. And I've learned with him to not do that, but it was a process for me. So I used to really stress about packing simply because I was worried about not having what I may need. And then I realized that if I really needed something that I didn't have, I could always purchase that. So most of the time, I wouldn't need to purchase anything because I would have what I really needed. But just having this kind of knowledge, I think, changed the way I approached packing. When we had the kids, and there is a video about this here, you may have seen it, but it's very old. When they were very little, so Naomi was less than 2, she was under 2, she was 1 year and 10 months old, and Dom was like 3.5 or thereabouts, less than 3.5. We traveled around Brazil by car for 4 weeks with the kids. And that was intense because, there's only so much you can carry in your car, right? So that was my first big lesson in terms of being able to travel lighter. And then slowly I learned more about this. And now with Peru, it was another massive lesson. And that was the best one so far, I think, which is why I asked the question on Instagram and why I decided to really come and talk about this here. Number one, something you need to know. It is so much more stressful to travel with lots of stuff. So much more stressful. There's one thing I would like to teach you about the word stuff, which is stuff is always used in the singular form. So you're never, ever in your life going to add the S at the end of that word. It's like people. Well, there is the word peoples, but we don't really use it. It's like information. It's like feedback. It's like equipment. You don't add the S at the end of the word ever. So stuff is already a plural word as it is. When you say stuff, what you're really saying is things. So a lot of stuff means a lot of things. Know that if you're not packing so much, it is going to be a lot less stressful for you. That's the number one thing, okay? That's a starting point. Now, the second thing I would like to tell you, and I'm going to be brutally honest with you, is brutally honest means so honest that it sounds brutal, okay? If you're traveling light, super light, like we did, you are bound to be wearing dirty clothes. It's as simple as that. You are bound to, I love this structure, means you're definitely going to. This is really going to happen. You can expect it because you don't have room for a new outfit, a fresh outfit every day. So, there's no two ways about this. You are going to be wearing dirty clothes. That's the second point, okay? And the third thing is that when you start packing in this particular way, you'll really get used to it. You really, really do. Last year, my husband and I traveled for 6 days together, just the two of us. And we live in Brazil, and we went to Punta Cana, and we traveled with a carry-on each only. This is impossible for a lot of women, but not for me anymore. It's very liberating. Again, and on that particular trip, I was not really wearing dirty clothes because it was summer. So summer clothes are lighter, easier to carry than winter clothes. So I could have, a fresh t-shirt every day. That was fine. But still, you're not carrying lots of different pairs of shoes. You're not carrying lots of different accessories, none of that stuff. Okay. I see people traveling, and I see this obviously because of Instagram, right? If they're traveling and I can see that they are posting a different photo every day, wearing a different pair of sunglasses, I am shocked by this because most of the time I don't even take sunglasses when I travel unless it's a summer holiday. So if I'm going to a beach or something, then for sure. Otherwise, if it's not going to be particularly hot, I'm not going to carry sunglasses if I'm packing light. You see the difference? But this is all about your mindset. And, it's something you're going to have to train yourself to do. So that's what I wanted to say in terms of making you understand what the whole experience is like. Now, we traveled to Peru in wintertime. So we were expecting it to be very cold. It wasn't in the end, which was a little bit of a problem because everything I packed, and this was my biggest lesson this time. And I find, this is something else I wanted to tell you guys actually. Every time you travel and you pack light, you're going to learn something. And those lessons are super valuable. I could sit here and tell you lots of my lessons, when it comes to traveling light. But I feel that you're going to benefit more from trying it out yourself and really understanding what really kind of flourished from that experience for you. Because it's a very personal experience when you do that. So my biggest lesson in terms of traveling light to Peru this year was that even though it's winter time, and everywhere I saw, they said, wear layers, but, you're going to need coats and scarves and boots, especially for the evening. Even though I read all of that, it's a really bad idea to only pack for winter. So my mistake was that I packed 0 short sleeve t-shirts. None. The only person who had a short sleeve t-shirt available was my husband. So he had 3 short sleeve t-shirts available in his luggage. We had nothing. Everything that I packed for us, for me and my kids, was long sleeves. And worse still, most of it was thermal. So you know those long sleeve t-shirts that are very warm? Yeah. So that was my biggest mistake. So I'm not making that mistake again. You can be sure the next time I travel, even if it's winter, I'm having a t-shirt on me for sure. So what I did was I brought, let me explain, kind of give you a bigger picture first. We were there for 9 days. We had one 23-kilo suitcase for the four of us. Plus means I'm giving you more information now, plus one backpack each. Normal size backpack that you can take on the plane with you and place it under your seat so it's not very big, okay? One of those. That's it, nothing else. So for all of us, we were wearing whatever trainers we were wearing. I traveled in boots and everybody else in trainers, and we carried one extra pair of shoes for each person in case it got wet. So this kind of in case I need it is very important. This is a lesson I have already learned from one of my trips. Traveling with one pair of shoes, probably not a very good idea because you actually don't know what can happen in terms of your shoes got soaked or completely muddy and you have nothing else to wear. So that's not so good. So one extra pair of shoes for each person, nothing else, okay? Trousers, I'm talking about my husband and I. So he traveled wearing one pair of trousers and there was one more in his suitcase, nothing else. For me, I traveled in one pair and I carried an extra two pairs because my excuse is that I'm smaller. So my trousers take up less, room in the suitcase than his. So that was it. T-shirts, I had 2 for 9 days, nothing else. I had 3 jumpers, very thin but warm wool jumpers. One of them I was wearing on the way there, so I carried 2 extra ones in my suitcase. One pajama set for each person, something light and very easy to carry. My point is, the only thing when you travel like this, the only thing that you can be sure to be wearing every day that will be clean is underwear, nothing else. So we all had fresh underwear every day, but we didn't have fresh socks every day. We all had to wear the same pair more than once, same pair of socks more than once, all of us, okay? You have to be open-minded to do this. You have to understand that this trip is not going to be about you showing off your outfits on Instagram. That's not the point, because if it were the point, you would need different shoes, different proper outfits. The whole thing would have to be different, and that is just not practical. And that is not the way we like to travel. So don't expect to see that from me possibly ever. I don't think I've ever traveled like this for the past 14 years since I met my husband. So I think what you have to figure out is what is not negotiable for you personally. I'm going to give you 2 things for me that I know that if I don't bring, I'm going to feel uncomfortable. And this is going to be a problem for me because it's going to affect my mood. Number 1 is a proper hairbrush so that I can, because I don't carry shampoo, none of that. I will use whatever is available at the hotel in terms of shampoo and conditioner. So I need to be able to dry my hair using the hotel hairdryer. I don't carry a hairdryer in a way that makes me look presentable. So I need one of those brushes to be able to do my fringe. So I'll carry that plus my normal hairbrush. That for me is important. And my makeup, because I don't like to not wear any makeup. So given the fact that I need to bring my makeup, I also need to bring makeup remover. You see how you really need to think about what you're doing, because it's usually not about one thing that you're packing. It's about what you're going to have to pack because you're packing that one thing, right? So, and that was really, really good we were fine. So the clothes were not particularly smelly because it was winter, so it was okay. It didn't feel fresh after a few days, obviously, but it was fine. For the kids, I did something slightly different, especially for Dominic, because boys, he's 10, boys are a bit smelly, aren't they? Yeah. So I made sure he was going to have a fresh pair of trousers every day. And he's still small, he's not very tall. So the trousers are small, they don't take up that much room. So I packed 10 pairs of trousers for him. And I thought to myself, if that means that I would need to pack less for myself, I'm okay with that. Because I know that I can get by if my clothes are not particularly fresh. I can still make myself smell good. But for a boy, I'm not sure I can do that. So I'm just going to pack fresh for him. And that was it. It was absolutely fine. There was a part of our trip for 5 days. This is the very tricky bit, because for 5 days out of 9, 5 out of 9, we traveled with only our backpacks, nothing else. So we left our suitcase at the hotel and then we went off and traveled for 5 days around the country. Those 5 days were tricky in terms of packing because really a small backpack is just not enough. So then we did not have our extra pair of shoes for 5 days. We were really just hoping that we would not get caught in the rain. And we didn't. It was okay. No one was particularly smelly and we had a lovely time. So when I see the photos, I feel good because my hair was clean, it looked nice, my face was done, and that's it. So remember, all the glamour you see on Instagram, for most people, is just not real. That's just not how people live life. And you don't need all of that to feel good about your traveling experience. You can travel light and still feel good. You can still make yourself look okay and feel fresh. You just need to kind of learn how. Anyway, this is a long video. I hope you've enjoyed it. And next time you travel, give yourself that challenge to pack light. It's a challenge, I know, but it's doable. You'll be okay. I enjoy it. I think I will not look back. I will not look back means I'm not going to go back to my old ways. Anyways, guys, see you next week. Thank you for watching me. Bye.